Celebrations have always been seen as moments of joy, unity, and hope. Yet history remembers days when celebration turned into catastrophe. In some moments, human happiness disappeared within hours. These are the celebrations we are going to talk about today. Rome awakens to a grand celebration, the opening of a new amphitheater, a monument the empire believes will last forever. Crowds gather from every corner of the city, drawn by anticipation and noise. The games continue for days without pause, and death becomes part of the spectacle. Gladiators enter the arena in silence, their lives exchanged for applause. The celebration ends in cheers, but the sand remembers what the crowd forgets. In the year 532, thousands gathered at the Hippodrome of Constantinople. Chariot races were the city's greatest form of entertainment, but festive cheers quickly transformed into anger. The crowd began demanding justice and revenge. This uprising became known as the Nika Revolt. For days, the city descended into chaos. By some estimates, up to 30,000 people lost their lives. The Aztec capital prepares for a sacred dedication, a city breathing faith and fear. Processions move toward the great temple, each step part of a ritual without return. Ceremonies continue without rest. The scale itself becomes a message of power. The crowd watches from below, reverence and terror blending into one. Smoke rises above the city at dusk, and silence follows devotion. In the year 1519, a great religious festival was prepared in the Aztec capital. Music played, dancers moved, rituals followed ancient traditions. It was meant to be a celebration for gods and for people. Then suddenly, the music stopped. Spanish soldiers blocked every exit from the plaza. The festival ended in the massacre of unarmed people. In 1572, Paris prepared for a royal wedding. It was meant to be a celebration of reconciliation. Instead, the city awoke in the night to the sound of bells. Those bells became a signal for mass murder. This night would be remembered as the St. Bartholomew's Day Massacre. Protestants were killed openly in the streets. Violence soon spread far beyond Paris. For millions of people, religious festivals are the most important days of their lives. Pilgrims travel hundreds of kilometers to stand together, but large crowds are not always controllable. Sometimes, a single push is enough to begin a tragedy. Celebration is replaced by silence and mourning. The fair begins as a day of prayer and joy, a gathering meant to bring people together. The square fills beyond its limits. Space disappears. Panic spreads faster than understanding. The crowd loses itself. Cries replace celebration. Help cannot reach everyone. Candles burn where voices once were. The prayers are different now. France celebrates the rise of a young king. Gold and light conceal uncertainty. The crown rests in silence, heavy with more than metal. The crowd watches in awe, unaware of what this moment will demand. Power becomes absolute, and fear becomes permanent. The cathedral doors close slowly. An era begins without consent. Pilgrims arrive from across the world, united by faith. Prayers echo through the holy city, while an unseen danger moves among them. Strength fades into weakness. Confusion replaces devotion. The pilgrimage becomes a struggle to survive. Medicine cannot keep pace. The desert absorbs the traces. Names vanish into the sand. A Christmas evening promises warmth and wonder. Families fill the theater. The performance begins. No one looks upward. Smoke spreads quietly above the audience. Time runs out unnoticed. Doors do not open. Panic takes control. Snow falls on the ruins at dawn. The celebration never returns. Workers march to celebrate solidarity and to be heard. Authorities prepare for confrontation. The gathering is seen as a threat. Tension breaks into chaos. Words lose their meaning. Gunfire ends the celebration. The streets empty in fear. Newspapers lie on cold stone. History moves on. The city longs to celebrate peace. Though war has barely passed, fireworks rise between crowded buildings. Safety is an afterthought. Explosions shatter the night. Joy disappears instantly. People search the darkness for the injured. Hope turns into shock. Mourning reveals the cost, and the silence feels heavier. Millions gather at the river's edge, seeking purification. The crowd moves as one. Control slips away. People fall and cannot rise. Belongings remain on the shore. Their owners do not. The river continues to flow, indifferent to devotion. The stadium overflows with emotion. A nation holds its breath. A single decision ignites anger. Tension erupts. Exits are sealed. The crowd becomes trapped. Panic spreads faster than sound. Every second matters. The stadium stands empty. The match forgotten. Students gather to celebrate and speak. Their voices carry hope. Military figures appear above them. The atmosphere shifts. Gunfire replaces chants. The celebration collapses. People flee in every direction. The square clears. Silence follows, but memory remains. A peaceful march unfolds on campus, calm and unassuming.
Armed soldiers stand nearby. No one expects what comes next. Shots ring out suddenly. The moment shatters. Objects lie where people fell. Stillness takes over. The campus grows quiet. Trust is gone. Young people gather with flowers and banners, believing in change. The celebration becomes a protest. The square fills. Military vehicles emerge through the haze. The tension is unbearable. One figure stands still. A moment becomes a symbol. The square empties once more. History remains unresolved.
By the end of the 20th century, mass celebrations had not become safer. Thousands of young people were returning home after a night of celebration. Sudden rain forced everyone to seek shelter. At the same time, the underground passage could not withstand the pressure of the crowd. The celebration ended with deaths and silence.
The neighborhood prepares for celebration. Families wait together. Fireworks are stored close to homes, the risk ignored. A single blast triggers disaster. Seconds change everything. Buildings vanish into debris. Shock replaces joy. Smoke hangs over the city. The festival is over.
Even in the modern world, celebrations can turn deadly. In 2010, a large music festival took place in Germany. Due to a crowd crush, 21 people were killed. The event became known as the Love Parade disaster. None of these tragedies were truly accidental. They were shaped by human decisions. A celebration itself does not carry violence, but negligence and greed can turn it into something fatal. History reminds us that human life is always more valuable than any celebration.